All right, the Tennessee Williams and New Orleans Literary Festival is underway this week, celebrating one of America's greatest playwrights in his deep connection to our city. Joining us now, Peggy Scott Laborde. This is our 5 Minutes With, sponsored by New Orleans and Company. Peggy, so glad to have you with us.
Well, same here, because there are very personal ties with your dad.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about
absolutely.
You and my dad, Jerry. But first, you were a judge of the Stella contest. What was that like?
Oh, it was great.
And who won?
Okay. Well, Langston Fishburne, as in Lawrence Fishburne's son. And I don't think we initially realized that, but I have to tell you just quickly about that contest. 30 years ago, we were all working very hard on the festival, and there was no publicity at the end of it. And so I realized we weren't visual. And so you just have to think about that, okay? And so I'm watching the news, the 10 o'clock news on a Sunday, and Dr. John's road manager is getting married on a Harley with a cockatoo on her shoulder. That's visual. And so I realized we needed to do something, and that's how the Stanley and Stella Shawty contest came up.
And they do Brando proud?
Oh, yes, they did. He was terrific, too. Coming in second was a puppet, which was pretty interesting. And coming in third was a young lady, Margot Fanning, who's a noted local actress.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it does draw the crowd. You've got some great media over the weekend.
Very fortunate.
And congratulations to that. For those not familiar with the festival, why is it such a special part of the city's cultural calendar?
Well, it was created in the oil slump in 1986, and actually Beverly Gianna, who used to work with the Tourist Commission, and my husband Errol Laborde and Maureen Detweiler and some other folks got together, and Don Marshall, and realized that we needed to do something to draw people in from outside New Orleans, but also celebrate the rich literary heritage. So that was it.
Yeah, and you think about the number of locations in New Orleans where these great authors have worked from. You think about the Monteleone Hotel being one.
Of course, but Williams considered New Orleans his spiritual home, and fortunately, he did live all around the quarter. So there's even a Tennessee Williams literary tour. But we're so fortunate to have a lot of national writers still working here, and really from almost day one.
Yeah, and New Orleans really sort of inspired Tennessee Williams in his writing. How do you see that story being told?
Well, I still think that's today, too. It was inexpensive to live here, and it still is relatively inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
The weather is good. Who wants to be cold? And then there's such beauty. There's such beauty just in the city, the architecture, the food. It's a fun, and of course the music. So that's what we do with the festival. It's so many things. It's a literary festival. It's also a festival about New Orleans topics as well. It's not snooty, and that's been very important from day one. We don't presuppose that you've read all the books,
Right.
Stanley and Stella is just an example of just having, fun and doing and being mindful. There's serious topics as well too, but also we're a drama festival. That's very important too because of Tennessee.
You stage a number of the works,
and we have a lot of great partners with that too. We also have a scholars conference. Even though the festival itself is not exclusively Tennessee, it's about good words, good writing. Tennessee, we have a one-day scholars conference at the Historic New Orleans Collection.
Right. I remember the days when Rex Reed would come in and be part of the festivities.
And he had many stories to tell.
He did.
And Dakin Williams,
that's
Tennessee
right.
Williams' baby brother, who would come and recite Tennessee Williams' poetry. And he was a very interesting force of nature in himself.
And very opinionated.
Very.
Yes, very
always
opinionated.
A flashy dresser.
Tell us about this year's festival. What stands out? What excites you among the many events that you're going to be doing?
Well, I like the fact that I am actually doing a panel with wonderful experts on artist George Deroe. And that's on Saturday. And also on Saturday is a historic happy hour with Errol Laborde. And I get to interview the Big E to talk about the beginnings of the festival, but also about New Orleans and Carnival in general.
Yeah. You just mentioned a number of things that the first-timer could really enjoy.
Absolutely. And lots of theater, too. That's what's going to be really great.
The casual visitor can choose through a menu of items and really get into it. And also, at the same time, explore the French Quarter.
Also, craft sessions. If you want to learn how to be a better writer, or if you're interested in maybe writing your first novel, it's really something for everybody. That's a cliche, but it truly is something for everybody.
Yeah, this has been a passion project for you for so many years, and you've really grown it into this international event for the city of New Orleans. So thank you for that on behalf of
Oh, well, the
entire
big thing
city.
is to bring people to town and for the locals to really understand and appreciate how important our literary
Yeah,
heritage is.
I've always seen this as sort of kicking off the festival season. We go through Mardi Gras, everyone takes a collective deep breath. They get through all their, the long nights that Mardi Gras brings, and then we get into a major festival like this.
It is a
It's just
rite of
a nice way
spring.
to start. Yeah, exactly. Tennessee Williams was known for its colorful characters. I got to ask you, where do you see a little bit of his spirit still alive in New Orleans today?
Wow. Well, I think you still see it in the quarter if you just walk around the quarter. On Royal Street, as you know, there's plenty of music. Doreen Ketchens is so incredible.
Right.
She's been playing, but she's not really a character. She's a very esteemed performer. But they're interesting looking people who are up and down Royal and even on Decatur as well. But I think there's still a little bit of that flavor. Yeah, as the days go by, we are all worried about losing that. And also, the whole concept of the yacht and the real New Orleans person. I think that we're appreciating all that the more because we don't want to lose it.
No, we sure don't. We sure don't. If Tennessee Williams could come to the festival this week, what would he experience, and what do you think he would think of the festival?
Oh, he had a really good sense of humor, and he had a very wicked laugh. I think he would like Debbie with a D, who is doing a send-up. And he had a
Quite a
really good
performer,
sense
Debbie
of humor.
with a D.
Yes, and she's a drag performer, and she's extremely talented. And she's going to be doing 2 shows about her tea with Tennessee at the Always Lounge. So we can laugh, we can be very serious. There'll be excerpts from plays. There is Small Craft Warnings, one of his later plays. There's Streetcar being done too right now.
Right.
So, it's really quite a mix. But on Friday night at the BK House, Beauregard Kai's house, a very star-studded tribute to Tennessee with Suddenly Last Summer and excerpts from the other plays. And Christine Ebersol, Rob Ashford, who's an esteemed Broadway producer and director. Oh, my goodness. Michael Cerveris. Jennifer Nettles. Remember Sugarland?
Yes.
Off on her own now, too. Just a ton of people who are going to be performing Tennessee.
And you can get all this information at tennesseewilliams.net.
Yes.
And again,
It's a really good website.
and
it's the Big 40. It's amazing.
right. It's the 40th. It's 40th. But let's talk about you for a moment.
Okay.
What got you into the not only to the festival production side, but you've been in broadcasting for many years. You've seen so many. You've put some wonderful documentaries together. What brought you to this
Oh,
world?
well, thank you. Well, I tell you, let's go back to New Orleans and theater. I was a theater kid at Nord Theater under Ty Tracy.
Ty Tracy,
That
yes.
was the beginning. Then later Gallery Circle, Le Petit Theater. Loved theater. But I was also interested in writing and communications. I wrote for my Cabrini newspaper. And so kind of combining that, I guess, initially, and I was very fortunate to start off my career in primarily public relations, a little bit of production at Channel 12. But I wanted to do more production. So eventually I was fortunate enough to get a job at Channel 6, and a lot of that was based on the World's Fair. Well, after the World's Fair went away, I was at Liberty, shall we say.
Yeah.
And your dad, I knocked on your dad's door at WLAE, and he needed somebody to assist him because he was busy with that papal visit, we may recall.
That's right.
And so kind of running the day-to-day operation, I also did documentaries, but I pitched a show called Steppin Out. And he said yes. And I promised him it would be easy to do and very inexpensive. and he said yes. And this is the weekly arts and entertainment overview that we're celebrating our 40th anniversary. It was at LEE almost 2 years, and now 38 years at YES.
That's wonderful, and you've made such a mark on our community.
But he said yes.
Yes, well,
And he said yes, and
Dad was
appreciate
probably a
that.
very good mentor.
He was a great
was
mentor.
was to me as
Yes.
well. Well, Peggy, it's always a pleasure. The Tennessee Williams Festival, again, it's not only the Tennessee Williams, but it's also the New Orleans Literary Festival. It's one of those only in New Orleans experiences. Literature, like you said, theater, and a lot of fun all coming together. So you can check it out, tennesseewilliams.net. It's running March 25 through 29. You can get all the times and locations, and it's a great way to experience New Orleans, but also just the great atmosphere that only New Orleans can provide.
And Mark, thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you, Peggy. Thank you very much. And we want to thank New Orleans and Company for sponsoring 5 Minutes With. Hey, y'all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Please follow us. We've got new shows each and every week. And a very, very special thanks to all of our sponsors who are making this possible. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.